Look out across any major international shipping port today, and you are staring at billions of dollars of physical capital in motion. From electronics to raw materials, mountains of global wealth are stacked high in steel containers, waiting to cross the ocean. But the ocean is violently unpredictable. Vessels face constant physical risks, ranging from severe storms to sudden equipment failure. When a cargo ship takes on water or a container is lost overboard, someone has to absorb that massive financial hit. The legal mechanism that decides who takes that hit is known in maritime law as the Transit Clause, specifically Clause 8 of the widely used Institute Cargo Clauses from 1982. This single clause acts as an uncompromising on-off switch for a container's insurance coverage. It explicitly dictates the precise second liability protection activates and the exact moment it expires. Understanding how these rules apply creates a predictable financial safety net. Without it, the staggering risks of maritime transport would make international trade financially impossible for most businesses. To see exactly how this on-off switch works, let's track a specific journey. Imagine a high-value shipment of electronics, fully packed and sitting in a storage facility in Mumbai. At this stage, marine cargo insurance is inactive. Under Clause 8, coverage formally commences the exact second those goods physically leave that specified warehouse to begin their journey. From that moment, the cargo enters what maritime law calls the ordinary course of transit. This legal term covers the standard continuous logistical movement of the goods, like traveling by truck to the Mumbai port and being loaded onto a vessel. That protective legal shield remains firmly attached to the cargo as the ship leaves the port and crosses the open water. As long as the shipment remains in that ordinary course of transit, the coverage holds. The policy even accounts for unexpected disruptions, like if bad weather forces a delay, or the ship is required to discharge its cargo at an unplanned port due to circumstances beyond the owner's control. The insurance protection continues uninterrupted. Eventually, our container safely crosses the Arabian Sea and arrives at its destination port in Dubai. The rules dictating how the coverage ends now come into play. Looking at this route map, you see the primary termination trigger. Insurance coverage officially ends the moment goods are physically delivered to the consignee's final destination warehouse. Because of this standard path, Clause 8 is commonly called the warehouse-to-warehouse clause. But that name is highly conditional. If the cargo owner decides to deviate from the standard transit route, perhaps opting to move the goods early to a separate alternative warehouse for distribution or allocation, the legal conditions change entirely. The instant the goods arrive at that alternative facility, the insurance is terminated. The policy assumes a specific risk profile based on a direct journey. Any deliberate choice to step outside that predefined path immediately shatters the protective shield. But there is another scenario. Let's say the electronics are successfully discharged from the overseas vessel in Dubai, but instead of moving on to a warehouse, the container just sits completely stationary on the port dock. Insurance companies will not cover static risk indefinitely. Clause 8 includes an absolute termination trigger, a strict 60-day limit beginning the second the cargo is discharged. If that countdown hits 0 and the cargo hasn't reached a final warehouse, the coverage completely evaporates, regardless of location. The mechanics of Clause 8 create a relentless race against time. Marine insurance is strictly designed to protect the physical movement of goods, not to subsidize indefinite storage. We now have 3 distinct finish lines for our Mumbai to Dubai shipment: delivery to the final warehouse, a detour to an alternative storage facility, and the exhaustion of the 60-day limit. The overarching rule of Clause 8 is simple and unforgiving. Coverage terminates when any one of these 3 events occurs first. This rigid structure is highly intentional. It limits open-ended liability for the underwriters, holding the financial risk, while simultaneously forcing maximum logistical efficiency throughout global supply chains. By defining the exact boundaries of the ordinary course of transit, the Transit Clause provides the calculated certainty that allows modern commerce to cross oceans.